It's good to look back. I mean, I always say, I've
Yeah.
traveled the world. Yes, I'm not always a tourist in a tourist place, but I'm on someone else's dime, often paying for it. Yes, I'm working or we're doing a trip and you got to get the footage, but in between, you're getting to see all these crazy places you probably would never go as a tourist often, right? You wouldn't book the holiday to
Never.
go see all the Gilo monster or whatever. Like, just wouldn't happen. Like,
No.
there's some of the shit you get up to and the memories you sort of form in this industry are hilarious.
And it's neat too, like the quests that you go on, because you're not necessarily going to Peru to go to Machu Picchu. Which everybody else goes on, which is like the plane to the bus to the train to the state park to the line, and then you're done with Machu Picchu. Like you did the road that's most traveled in that area. When you're filming or on a bike trip, no one goes to any of these spots that you go to, and then you flow through all of these zones um, in a way that is beautifully exciting and pure and quiet, but fast pace. Um, and you get to soak up so much more and be a part of so much more doing it on two wheels than you would if you kind of showed up with the tourist guide and try to hit all the hot spots. Um, and then the other side to it is the bike world itself is so freaking cool that if you're a biker and he's a biker and you're like, wait, you came from South Africa to ride here? Dude, let me show you all this other stuff. Like, and then you're in the group. And then they're like, dude, you come to a barbecue at our house after, you know, my buddy's got to see this or hear this, or you gotta try this bike, or you gotta try my pump track in the backyard, whatever it is. It's very inclusive when you're a higher level rider or you're just somebody that comes from further away. Like the bike world or the bike community is a good bunch of bunch of people.
It opens up doors. You're right. Obviously, if you're a named rider or high level, they're going to want to look after you. But I remember when I went to Iran, it wasn't because of my name. It definitely was not because of that. These were just guys who wanted to show off their country, or their friend was the guide for the bikers and he rode. And it was amazing to get invited, like you say. Well, then come and come and have breakfast with us, and they would make a local dish which you're not having as a tourist. You're definitely not, and you're not having it from someone so kind to bring you into their home. And I was thinking, when you transitioned, you went on a lot of these adventure trips, and you just mentioned Peru. Like, you've seen some pretty impressive places that, I don't know, I wonder, you might not have seen them if you just went down the competition route.
For sure. Doing the free ride thing was cool. So in during the height of that with free ride entertainment and neural disorder, it was like, all right, boys, you killed it last year and you just rode New York City. Where are we going this year? And it was like, Europe? And they're like, yeah, where? Like Amsterdam? Where else? Barcelona? Maybe Dusseldorf, Germany? All right, cool. That's your trip. Take Ian Highlands and take Rob the filmer, like take these guys and come back with the goods. And we would go bouncing around through countries in Europe. We'd go, yeah, South America, or I went to Turkey a couple times and rode over there in some just really insane spots that, um, yeah, that wouldn't have had a world class race or a world class event because of their lack of infrastructure, but makes you get out there and see the world and see how other people live and see how other people ride, you know, and show up um, and experience it. And it gives you an awesome perspective of your life when you go home. Um, and your kitchen floor is dirty and you got a sink full of dishes and you're like, that's nothing because these guys live in a dirt floor and they don't have a sink with dishes. And you're like, so I guess I'm not doing too bad. I always like that part of travel is to see how other people lived. I always thought that that was really freaking cool, especially when you go to a place like Peru, and some of these people live at 14,000 feet. And I'm watching a kid walking around outside barefoot, high elevation with wind blisters on their cheeks, and I'm like, that little girl's the same age as my little girl, and if she had a blister on her cheek, she'd have Aquaphor on her cheek. We'd be all like making sure her cheeks are okay. Like it's just so different, and this is like a different world where people just grow up a little bit more rugged. Maybe I don't know what it is, but seeing a mom with a huge cancerous tumor on her chest and she's got a kid, and you're just like, oh my god, like these are all people that aren't long for the world, and they're all doing their best, and then we can go back home and have proper medical care and insurance, and if you have a tumor somewhere, like that's getting checked out and getting removed, and we'll have a biopsy on it and find out what's going on. And then you go to other places in the world, and it's just you just play whatever card you're dealt. So anyway, it's eye opening, and it makes you a better person to see more of that. And the biking world, you know, gave me those opportunities, and I'll definitely never forget it, because I remember being on most of the trips I was always on. I would wake up in the morning and go, man, I can't believe I'm out here. Man, I can't believe I got this opportunity. I always felt grateful for being places, and maybe not always, but I really did smell the roses as much as I could.